Today I'll be covering part 1 of a 2-part series on my vintage Louis Vuitton Petite bucket bag in the PM size. I'll be running through a review of the bag, tips and tricks of how I buy the bag at a bargain price from the pre-loved market, as well as how I remove the sticky lining from just common household products. If you're interested, stay tuned. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy. My channel is all about luxury, designer fashion, mindful shopping, and tips and tricks of how you can make your luxury dollars stretch a bit further so you can make the most out of your designer pieces. If this is the kind of content you like, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscription button below and ring the notification bell. And if you like the content, please consider clicking on the like button. So onto the history of the bag. I did cover the history of this bag together with my other bags in my first video, Vintage Designer Bag Haul, so do check it out. This bag was created in 1968, and at that time this silhouette was very different to the kind of bag that would be used in the 1960s, which is quite structured and held generally in the crook of the arm. I believe this bag has only recently been discontinued because I saw it on the Louis Vuitton Australia website as recently as February this year, but I couldn't see it on the website anymore. This is in classic monogram, and this petite bucket bag also comes in a larger size in both monogram as well as a classic damier bin, which is that checkered print. For the dimension of the bag, the length of the bag is 23 centimeters length, 25 centimeters height, and the depth is actually 16 centimeter. So it's relatively generous and it does fit quite a lot of things in it, which I'll cover in part 2 of my series on this bag. This bag has a open closure or lack of closure, and it has a very unstructured silhouette up the top, but a structured bottom with 4 feet. It does have 2 pockets. It first of all have a zipper pocket, you can see here, as well as a slip pocket, which very comfortably fit in the iPhone, and other than that, it's really a big hole here. The bag also comes with a chain, which ordinarily would have a pouch click onto it, and I purchased this bag without the pouch. And there is also the date code, which sits in the D-ring that contains the chain, and this one is VI0030, which means it was made in France on the 3rd week of 2000. So this bag is 20 years old. The condition of this bag is really quite fantastic on the outside. It has a golden honey color across the vachetta leather, the tabs as well, and the handles doesn't have any cracks or dryness. It is a bit dirty because I had it for 7 months, and unlike most bags around this age, this rim here is also intact, nothing cracked, nothing missing. So this is how the bag looks against the body. I have the strap set on the longer setting, and it sits quite flat against the body with just the bottom jutting out a little bit. So on to some buying tips on my pre-loved market. I tend to buy my pre-loved bag from Japanese sellers on eBay. So there are 3 things I look for when I buy my pre-loved designer item. 1 is the price, 2 is the condition of the item, and 3rd is to check the reputation of the seller. So for the price, I would set a budget, and I would do a lot of research on looking at the sale price of a bag across the different conditions, and I have a tracking sheet that would automatically calculate an average price and the median price for different conditions of the bag, so that when a bargain comes along, I can recognize it as such. So for Louis Vuitton, I would definitely never buy anything with cracks on the canvas. If there's a little bit of a crack, minor crack on the vachetta leather because it's dry or it's a bit dirty, that's fine because I know I could clean that up quite easily. So on to the reputation of the seller. For eBay, I would typically never buy anything from a seller with less than 1,000 items on sale and not less than 98% positive feedback. I would also look at the recent feedback and see if there's any pattern of increasing number of negative feedback in case management changes or the way that they practice their business change. So how to remove the sticky lining? When I bought this bag, the canvas was in very, very good condition, but inside the lining was peeling and there was no way I could have used it without removing the sticky line. I did some research, and some of the methods that people use are using masking tape, which takes a very long time and I'm way too impatient for that, or using acetone, and was a bit worried about destroying the lining of the bag. There are commercial products out there, but I wasn't too sure of that, and I really wanted to stick to my budget with items that I could find around the house. I ended up using a household product which is probably very common with COVID-19 nowadays, which is the alcohol surface spray. And what I did was I turned the lining of the bucket bag with the sticky lining out, spray in the area, avoiding the vachetta leather around the pockets, and left it overnight. And I'm inserting a video on how to remove the very sticky lining physically. This has already peeled after letting the product sit for a day. And with gloves on, you can easily peel the lining off the plastic lining of the inside of the bag, like so. So just continue doing that, see how easily it tears off. So once the lining is removed, I left it out to air dry, allow the alcohol to evaporate, and then what you end up getting is basically a lovely sway-like fabric that is not sticky at all. The only negative is it does leave a white residue, if you're not careful, on the vachetta leather, and I'm sure I sort of wash it or wipe it with baby wipes, it might remove it. Okay, so there we have it. Do keep an eye on part 2 of this series, where I'm going to show you what fits in my Louis Vuitton Petite bucket bag, as well as how I use a bag organizer to keep it in great shape. If you did like today's video, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscription button below and ring the notification bell. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and stay positive. Bye.